Am I the a-hole for not delaying my wedding because my sister is going through a terrible divorce? My sister Rachel is separating from her husband Mark. Somebody anonymously sent Mark a letter in the mail claiming their 3 kids weren't his, ages 1, 3, and 4. Mark took a paternity test because the letter was so detailed that he had a feeling it might be true. The results came back and he wasn't the father of any of the kids. And Mark now wants nothing to do with my sister or my nieces and nephew. It's been hard on her, and everyone has been shaken. The problem is my fiancé and I are getting married soon. Everything is set for the end of October, and everyone is excited. But Rachel. She's told me multiple times to change the wedding date, so she can heal from the trauma of her husband abandoning her and their children. I told her no, and she burst into tears claiming I wasn't being supportive and that she wasn't coming. My fiancé's family have all booked time off to come to this wedding because they live out of state. But she claims I'm choosing his family over her. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. All 3 of their children aren't his? That she repeatedly cheated on her husband and is now dealing with the consequences does not mean you don't get to move along with your life's plan. How would that sound anyway? I'm postponing my wedding so my sister that basically cheated on her husband 3 times can feel supported. Not the a-hole. I can't believe none of the kids are his. Poor guy. Your sister is the a-hole. She's at fault for her marriage collapsing, then demands everyone else to stop their lives so she can heal from the trauma of the consequences of her actions catching up to her. Definitely the a-hole. The nerve of her to say he abandoned his wife and children. None of the children were his. He is not the father, and they're young enough, at least, to not be too affected if she puts in the work. She probably won't. Not the a-hole. Your sister caused much of her own trauma. She lied, and I would assume cheated on her husband, so she left her. She wasn't just abandoned. Enjoy your wedding. Probably best if she wasn't there anyways. Obi's ex-brother-in-law is the only one entitled to feel trauma. And those poor kids, especially the older ones. Not the a-hole, Obi. You already had the day basically ready. People already have the time off. And personal bias. Halloween wedding? That better go through. Your sister talks about getting over trauma, yet she's the one that I'm sure broke a man. Enjoy your wedding and bust out a monster bash. She can take this time to either look for a sitter for the kids or learn how to deal with her own choices in life. If I were a guest and had arranged time off, transportation, hotel, etc. for this wedding, and then the date was moved because someone who is neither the bride nor groom cheated on their spouse years ago, don't bother inviting me to the new date. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to share my inheritance with a sibling? I don't have anyone I can share these thoughts with in person, so I'm hoping you guys can help me resolve this. I, 20 male, am a single child, or at least I thought I was. Then just over a year ago, I discovered that I have a sister, Lucy. The story goes that my mother had a child with her first boyfriend while she was in college, and they couldn't support her, so she opted for adoption at birth. My father was aware of this, but I was never told. Anyways, about a year ago, she made contact with our mother. They've gotten on pretty well, kept in touch, and go on the odd lunch. Lucy has also attended a couple of our family events this past year. Her and I get along fine as well. We're different people, so not friends. So I sort of see her as an acquaintance / friend of the family, I guess. It's a little odd because I know we're closely related, but at the same time she doesn't feel like family, if that makes sense. Okay, so there's the backstory. Now on to the dilemma. My grandparents on my mother's side both passed away a few years ago. My mother was their only child, and I their only grandchild, and they left their entire estate to me. This was known to my parents and me before they passed, as they had expressed it when they made their will. My parents are well off financially. Mom's a nurse while Dad's a doctor, and so they were fine with the arrangement. I was given access to the money on my 20th birthday, and the sum of money was much larger than I expected, totaling around $6 million. This is why I can't really talk about this with anyone impartial, because I don't really want friends etc. to know. Anyway, a few weeks ago my mother sat me down and asked me to share the money with Lucy. Now here's the thing. Like I said, to me Lucy is essentially an acquaintance. I know we're related by blood, but I don't exactly feel the type of connection to her that would merit giving her such a large sum of money, or any money at all for that matter. So I explained that to my mother, and she wasn't exactly happy with my answer. She believes I'm being extremely selfish, and that Lucy could very much benefit from this money as well, since she's still a college student and in debt. Here's where I think I might be the a-hole. I don't really see that as my problem. I believe families who feels like family, not who shares your DNA. Secondly, my grandparents were aware of Lucy's existence, even though they never met her, and they chose to leave everything to me all the same. Also, it is not as though Lucy grew up poor in the foster system or anything. She was adopted at birth by what seems like two great people. Her adoptive parents are an accountant and a teacher. I do not plan to just hoard the money. I am starting law school this year, and plan to use it to start my own firm once I'm finished. So go forth and judge me, please. Am I being a selfish a-hole here, or am I justified in thinking that simply being related by blood doesn't merit any claim here? Not a-hole. Your grandparents were aware of Lucy's existence, and they chose not to leave her an inheritance. I'm guessing, since she was legally adopted, your grandparents didn't feel it was necessary. Also, Opie's mother was obviously aware of Lucy's existence, but seemingly did nothing about it until now. Either way, not a-hole. Yeah, the adoption took away any legal right, at least where I'm from, to the inheritance. Mom tries to make up for giving her daughter away by giving away Opie's money. Though I get the sentiment, this will only divide a family. Really hope she didn't tell her daughter about the inheritance, as that could have set her up for a lot of hurt and fighting. Also, depending on where Opie lives, you should refrain from giving even a small amount of money, as that could be counted as admittance if the sister ever should try to sue. Not a-hole. Your mother's parents could have made provisions for your mother and/or the daughter she gave up for adoption if they wanted. Your mother is free to make whatever arrangements she sees fit with her estate, but your grandparents made their wishes known when they left their estate to you. I agree. Your parents seem to be doing well, and now that you have that money, they could focus their finances on her. My father makes a majority of the family's income, and this isn't his child. So I don't know how he would feel about financing her. Should have mentioned that. By the same token, she is not your child. I generally agree with the no a-hole commentary. I'm just going to point out that if you don't share, that's totally valid. Just don't be surprised later if your mom leaves more to Lucy than you might otherwise expect, as her way of equalizing. Next story. Am I the a-hole for lashing out at my sister for not shutting up about adoption decision? My girlfriend, 25 female, is almost 4 months pregnant. We try to be careful with protection, but I guess we messed up, and here we are. Her and I, 25 male, decided adoption will be best. We want kids in the future, but we're both working minimum wage jobs, barely making it okay with the bills every month. And we talked about it a lot before we decided it just wouldn't be fair if our baby had to live in horrible conditions because it will get expensive, when we could find someone who might be able to. We found this couple through friends of friends, and we are getting to know them pretty well, seeing what kind of people they are. My family knows we're choosing this route, and for the most part, support it. My sister, 35, however, keeps pushing that we keep the baby. She has 3 kids herself, and all she keeps saying is parenthood is hard, but it's rewarding. I've told her, yeah, we get that. We want kids, but in the future with better jobs, and us not counting change in our pockets to take the train to work. It's been hard enough accepting the reality that we want to get to raise our first baby together, and her constant comments don't make it better. Even when I ask her, tell me how we're gonna support a baby, she just said she doesn't know, but you'll find a way. I've told her many times to stop talking about it because of everything it does to us, and she's not even being helpful. Today at my mom's, she still brings it up again. Just saying she really thinks we're making a mistake, and talking about how tough it'll be as a parent, but it'll be worth it. My girlfriend got all upset, she went to the bathroom. And I don't know, I just told her to shut up already. Exactly like that. And that I'm sick of her always talking about this. We know everything we're going to miss out on, so stop talking already. Wasn't like screaming or anything, but I did raise my voice at her because I was just so frustrated already. We didn't stay long, but yeah, my sister does think I was an a-hole for having that reaction, and she didn't deserve to be told shut up for simply caring about her future niece/nephew. We've never fought like this before, but I really couldn't take it anymore. She won't talk to me. Still thinks I was in the wrong. It's hard to see how, but maybe I missed something. Was I an a-hole? Now for the comments. Not an a-hole. You made a very hard, extremely mature decision. Your sister has zero say in it, and if she haven't understand it by now, I guess now she does. If she cares about the baby so much, she can adopt it herself. Good luck, Opie. Funny thing is, I suggested that if she's so adamant about us keeping the baby, but she just told me to stop being ridiculous. Yeah, sounds like she cares so much about future nephew/niece. Not a-hole. You've thought about it thoroughly and made what you feel is the best decision for yourselves and your child. Your sister needs to back off and realize it's not a decision you made lightly. If she's that adamant you keep the child, is she planning to help you out financially? Unless she is, she has no say in anything. As someone who struggled with fertility, thank you. Thank you for doing the best for your child. Thank you for giving someone a chance at parenthood that they may not have had otherwise. And good luck with everything. You're doing an incredible, selfless thing. I've brought that up before, and obviously her answer is don't be ridiculous, and then that she has 3 kids she's already supporting. That means a lot. Usually don't get all watery eyes for a comment, but this one does it. Hasn't been easy, especially for my girlfriend. I wish we didn't have to make this choice, but we know this is for the best. I really hope things worked out for you. Hey Opie, I don't know if you're planning an open adoption. Sounds like it. But regardless, a lot can happen over years. I advise you and your girlfriend to write a letter to the baby explaining your decision and how much you love it and wish the timing could have been better. Give it to the adoptive parents. If anything happens, they move away, the relationship sours, something happens to you and/or your girlfriend, etc., then the child will always have your reasons and your love. Something like that, yeah. They'd like for the baby to know about us as they grow up, even if we're not in contact. We're doing something like that, but it's more like a personal journal from each of us, a letter and some pictures. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for RSVPing no to my stepsister's wedding? My stepsister Serena and I have been stepsisters since I was 5 and she was 9, but we have known each other longer. I honestly don't remember my life before she or her mom were in it. Serena's dad passed away when she was a baby, and my mom died 18 months after my dad married my stepmom. So we essentially lived together for a large chunk of our childhoods. But she never did consider me family or her sister. She's older, so I get that the experience was different for her, and she remembers a life before me. I never took it too personally, though I did try to make us closer over the years, but she was never interested. People used to tell me that once we were adults, it would be easier because we'd be at the same stage in life. Serena's getting married in a little over 2 months, and I decided to RSVP no to the invite. I was always a little awkward about going, but I would have. But last month, my parents invited Serena's bridesmaids over to thank them for being part of the wedding. There, I learned that one of her friend's younger sister was also going to be a bridesmaid. This is a friend she has known since senior year of high school. The younger sister is apparently someone she considers a sister. The youngest sister then told me Serena always said she was the sister she never had and stuff. That she had specially asked her to be in the wedding because she considered her as close to a baby sibling as she ever got, and wanted her there. Said nothing, but it just made me realize that she actively chose not to try with me, but could choose to try with one of her friend's siblings she met years after meeting me. Through talking with Serena's little sister, I realized she had made such a big effort to hang out with and spend time with her. It went to her milestones like graduation or even big birthdays. Sweet 16, 21st. She never showed up to that stuff for me, or when she did, my 21st she did show for. She made no effort to hang out with me. She went because her mom had paid for an open bar, and some of her family was going to be there. I don't remember her even speaking to me that night. So I RSVP'd no, and her future husband sent me an email, with my name wrong, that Serena didn't want her mom to know. But then he went and mentioned it to my dad and now it has blown up. My dad asked why I wouldn't attend, and her mom is saying that after all she has done for me, I should show up and be part of the family event. To me, I might be their family, but Serena has made it very clear I'm not hers. I don't think I did anything wrong, but I feel guilty too because this has made ripples in my family. Am I the a-hole? Edited to add, Serena's little sister had no idea I was her stepsister. The little I gathered is, she thought I was a niece of my dad, or as she put it, her mom's husband's niece. Another point, because it may be relevant, is she doesn't talk to me. I make the effort, but she does not communicate with me of her own volition. I was always the one trying to engage with her. Even as basic as a hi, I don't get from her. Not a hole. Why go to a wedding of someone who has made zero effort to make you feel important to them? I wouldn't go. Not a hole. Would Opie even be invited to be part of the photos? Or at best, Be tolerated as part of them. It's okay. You don't need to humiliate yourself to make others happy. You did your best. You don't owe anyone more than that. Don't feel bad. Your parents and step are the a-holes for guilting you rather than your stepsister. It's clear she doesn't consider you a sister. You're not obligated to carry on the charade. I know I've been indifferent at best to you your entire life, and I don't acknowledge our relationship at all. Actually, I don't even really like you. But our parents want me to invite you, and I really want more presents. Does she even want you to come? Will she even say hi? Will she notice if you're not there? Oh, will she even say how she knows you? Or will you be an old family friend? Not stay home. Don't feel bad. You didn't do it. Stepsister caused this. You are over 21. Sit your dad and stepmom down and explain what you wrote here. Say, assure stepmom it has nothing to do with how much you appreciate what she's done for you. That you don't blame her for how sister treats you. But at this point in your lives, you give up. Include the tidbit about the soon-to-be husband didn't even get your name right and told you to keep it from her. That while you tried, you now accept it's never going to change. And hearing about the little sister she always wanted helped you see that more clearly. It makes you sad, but you won't spend any more time being the only one putting effort in. I'd put cash on guessing they didn't want the mom to know about the email, because she probably already talked to sister about you not being in the wedding. Stepmom is probably freaking out because she knows her child is being an A. Can't control your reaction either. It may be being forced to admit the ugly truth about her kid and the relationship between her and your dad. Tell them you hope her day goes the way she wants it, that they both enjoy the day, but you do not wish to pretend anymore.
Would I be the a-hole for ghosting my ex-wife? I, 32 male, met Sarah, 30 female, in grade school in our small town. She was my first everything, girlfriend, love, and eventually wife. We both went to college together, and after I graduated, we got married when I was 23 and she was 21. Sarah was still finishing her degree, and I worked hard to support both of us while she completed her studies. When she got her first job, I was so proud of her. It felt like our sacrifices and hard work were paying off, and I thought we were on our way to building in life together. For 2 years, everything seemed fine, or at least I thought so. Then one day, I came home from work and found her packing a bag. She sat me down and told me she had been having an affair with a coworker. I was completely oblivious. She was crying and apologetic. She said she loved me, but she was in love with a coworker and they had this chemistry and a deep connection. And that she never felt this level of excitement and attachment with me. At the same time, she seemed to be really apologetic and acted very guilty. She moved in with a coworker that night. Sarah made a divorce as quick and easy as possible. She didn't contest anything and took almost nothing. In the state we live in, you can get a divorce in 10 days if there aren't any children involved. We filed the papers ourselves, no lawyer, couldn't afford one. After it was final, she asked if we could be friends. And I'm ashamed to say that I just broke down and sobbed like a baby in front of her, said nothing and left. At that point, she was 23 and I was 25. A couple of years later, in early 2020, while riding out COVID in my hometown, my mom casually mentioned that Sarah had married a guy she left me for. Apparently, Sarah's parents and mine had talked about it since they're longtime friends, and Sarah's parents were hesitant about the marriage, but supported her. Hearing that stung. I had done everything I could to move on, but knowing she had married her affair partner felt like reopening the wound. I told my mom, as kindly as I could, that I didn't want to hear about Sarah anymore. She understood and never brought her up again. I was broken and depressed at first, but I went to see a therapist and got on some meds. I got some certifications, and through a friend from college, I got an interview with a global consulting company. My friend was married and couldn't do the amount of travel that the job required, so he pushed hard for me for the position. I started traveling around the world and pretty much worked all the time at first. On any given day, I was either in the gym, working, or having a virtual therapy session at 3 a.m. I was a dull boy. I got into incredible shape thanks to lifting and running. Eventually, I got a long-term project in Romania and was able to meet and have relationships with women. Fast forward a few years. Recently, I had a few weeks of vacation saved up, and I wanted to spend Christmas in Reykjavik, Iceland. I went to my parents' place in my hometown for Thanksgiving with my sister and brother. Last Thursday, I was at the local independent drugstore in what passes for downtown in my hometown. It has a lunch counter like an old-fashioned drugstore. I got a cup of coffee and sat down at the counter drinking it when Sarah sat down beside me and said hello. She was super nervous and red in the face. I was shocked and just sat there looking at her. I was exploding inside, but I kept my cool outwardly. She was still beautiful. She was actually very fit herself and had lost her baby face and became maybe even more beautiful. She started off by apologizing for the way she ended our marriage. I told her she already apologized like 100 times when she dumped me, but she insisted that she was young and stupid, and over time, she realized how much she had hurt me. She wanted to meet me later in a less crowded spot with fewer spies. Small town, remember? I shook my head no, and told her frankly that I didn't see what I could possibly get out of meeting with her again. That kind of took the wind out of her sails, and she kind of deflated. She admitted that it was probably more for her than for me. She said that I'd get closure not only for how she ended things, but for the kind of person she was back then. She wanted to tell me about how she's changed, and what she'd learned about herself and what real love is. She wanted me to see that the person she became is someone that I could respect and maybe be friends with again. I wanted to get the heck out of there, so I just told her I'd think about it. She gave me her number and I went home. Apparently, my mom and sister had already heard about it from Sarah's mom. So I'm a big dumb victim of some kind of big dumb Hallmark Christmas movie hit job. My sister, 29 female, and mom, 55 female, told me that they kept up with Sarah since our divorce, and they know that she's changed and that I should hear her out. My dad, 56 male, just shook his head and walked off. My brother, 22 male, thought all of this was hilarious. I asked if he wanted to chime in, and he just shrugged his shoulders and said that since Sarah and I knew each other from when we were kids, I should at least hear her out, just to keep the peace between our families since we live in a small town. Personally, I do think that her family would feel insulted if I didn't at least talk with her. I know for a fact that she's living with her parents now, so it seems like her life completely crapped the bed. I'd kind of like to get the gory details as maybe a form of schadenfreude, but it's all behind me now, and I think it would all just make me sad. I guess I am a better man now that I'm more mature, more wealthy, and fitter than I was when I was with her. But I'm still the same guy that she didn't have chemistry or connection with back in the day. So I think whatever comes out of her mouth would be BS. I think she's probably a dragon cosplaying as a princess and wants me to be her white knight. F that. My mom and sister are pushing hard for me to meet her, and my mom says that she's afraid if I don't at least hear Sarah out, that Sarah's mom will resent her and make her social life more complicated. Let me make it clear that I have no intention of getting back with Sarah. Sarah is very beautiful, but so are the women of Romania, Iceland, and elsewhere, and they have the added bonus of not breaking my heart. I'm interested in going just to hear about what happened to her after she dumped me and to smooth things over for my folks. What do you think, Reddit? Should I go? I kind of want to. Talk me down off the ledge. Would I be the a-hole if I ghosted my ex-wife? Now for the top comments. Sounds like you don't need a closure, so why pick at healed wounds? Tell your mom and sister if they want to hear Sarah talk so much, they can go in your place, but to leave you out of it. Yeah, that's what I don't get. In these small towns, they could easily find out the intentions. Especially if they're like the one I grew up in, with all the families being all entangled in the social events and everyone knows everyone's business. Which means mom and sis already know, and they want the two of them to get back together. It's all cutesy. Bro needs to get on a plane fast. Anyone else find it suspicious that cheating ex just happened on him at a lunch counter? Mom set him up. Don't go. You don't have to ghost her. You can tell her you aren't interested in rehashing the past and you wish her well. Not the a-hole. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to share my bonus with my fiancé's family? I, 30 male, work in tech and had a fantastic year at my job. I recently received a significant year-end bonus, $50,000, and I was thrilled. I've been saving for years to buy a house, and this bonus is going directly into my house fund. My fiancé, 28 female, knows this and was initially very supportive. Then she dropped a bomb on me. She asked if I could spare $25,000 of my bonus to help her parents pay off their mortgage. Apparently, her parents have been struggling financially, and she feels it's only fair, since we're going to be married and they're going to be my family too. I said no. I've worked extremely hard for this money, and while I feel for her parents, I don't think it's my responsibility to bail them out, especially when I've never even been asked directly by them. Her response? She called me selfish and accused me of not caring about her family. She then brought up how her parents have sacrificed so much for her and it's the least I could do. She's been cold to me ever since. She's also told her parents about my bonus without my permission, and now I'm getting guilt-tripped by them. They haven't outright asked for money, but they've made several comments about how lucky I am to have extra cash and how some people don't get that kind of opportunity. When I mentioned that I plan to use the money to help secure our future with a house, my fiancé said, "What future? You're already showing you don't care about the people who matter to me." I don't think I should have to justify how I use my bonus, but now even my own friends are split on whether I'm being reasonable or stingy. Am I the a-hole? Run. Far and fast. Red flags. He's lucky she showed him her cards before marrying her. Bro, cut and run. Not the a-hole. Get the ring back too. Leave. Just leave. Your fiancé has revealed who she is before the wedding. Asking you to subsidize her parents is so inappropriate. If this becomes an issue, your fiancé and her parents will remember and forever mar your marriage. I'd kick myself for marrying her. Your fiancé has made it clear where you stand in relation to her parents. She overshared about your salary. That her parents have the audacity to make snide comments hoping to steer you towards donating to them is insulting and inappropriate. When I mentioned that I plan to use the money to help secure our future with a house, my fiancé said, "What future? You're already showing you don't care about the people who matter to me. Stick a fork in it. This relationship is toast." I say confirm what your fiancé is proclaiming and surprisingly agree with her. Then she can give all the money her parents need. Not the a-hole and keep an eye on your wallet. And don't get her pregnant. Why isn't she helping her parents if they are so important to her? Are you the one always paying for everything? Are you supporting her? Think about it long and hard. And I'm sure you'll see this isn't the first time situations like this have occurred. She is trying to help them to OP's money. Next story. Am I the a-hole for struggling to help my daughter cope with her father's work accident? I, 27 female, have a 6-year-old daughter with my ex-boyfriend. Although we're no longer together, he has always been a loving and devoted father. They share a very close bond, and she adores him. Her father was in a terrible work accident that left him in a coma. The doctors can't say when or if he'll wake up, and the uncertainty has been unbearable. I've been trying to stay strong for my daughter, but it's been incredibly hard. She doesn't fully understand what happened and has been struggling ever since. At school, she's been acting out, refusing to listen to her teacher and getting into arguments with her classmates. At home, she's throwing tantrums over the smallest things, yelling, and even saying things like she hates me or that I'm lying about her dad. It's been heartbreaking. I've taken her to visit her father a few times, hoping it would help her feel more connected and understand what's happening. Each time, she starts crying and clings to his hand, begging him to wake up. Watching her so heartbroken is gut-wrenching, and I often feel completely helpless. I've tried everything I can think of to help her. Extra patience, spending more quality time together, and reassuring her that she's loved. But it doesn't seem to be enough. After a particularly tough week, I decided to put her in therapy, hoping a professional could help her process her emotions. She's had 2 sessions so far, and while I know it takes time, her behavior hasn't improved yet, and I feel like I'm failing her. Some family members think I'm overreacting. They've told me that kids are resilient and that she'll get over it in time, suggesting that I'm making her more anxious by talking about her father's accident too much. Others have been more supportive, but their mixed opinions have left me second-guessing myself. I'm trying so hard to do what's best for my daughter, but I'm terrified that I'm not handling this the right way. Am I overreacting by putting her in therapy, or am I not doing enough to help her cope? Am I the a-hole for struggling to figure out how to help my daughter through this? Not the a-hole. My father was in a coma for a year after a drunk driver crashed into him. It was and is awful. 35 years later, I am still grieving. You are doing the right thing. You both need therapy. A professional can help you process your feelings. Hers and your therapist together can help you decide the best course of action for you and your daughter during this awful time. I'm so sorry you are all having to deal with this. You are absolutely not overreacting by putting her in therapy. This is a big deal for anyone, let alone a small child. You need professional help to assist her in navigating her feelings. You're doing the right things, and anyone who says otherwise is a knob. The fact that you care, are worried, and are taking steps to help your daughter is what makes you a good mom. Frankly, I'd be concerned if she wasn't bothered by her dad's medical state. Anyone can have an opinion, but no one knows your daughter the way you do. In this arena, their opinions are moot, not the a-hole. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom about my stepfather's affair after catching him with another woman? I'm really struggling with whether I did the right thing or not, and now my family feels like it's falling apart. This happened a few nights ago, and I can't stop thinking about it. So I-32 female was invited out to dinner by a co-worker. She's new at my job, and we've been getting along pretty well. So when she asked me to come celebrate her birthday, I figured why not? We went to this nice restaurant, like one of those fancy places I usually wouldn't go to unless it's for something special. While we're eating, I spot someone across the room who looks really familiar. It took me a second, but I realized it was my stepdad, 50 male. That alone threw me off, because he was supposed to be out of town for a business meeting that night. My mom, 58 female, even mentioned earlier in the day that he had a big work thing and wouldn't be home until the weekend. At first, I thought maybe his trip got canceled and he was having dinner with a colleague or something. But then I noticed the woman he was with. She was way younger than him and dressed really, let's just say, not professional. They were sitting close together, laughing and being super touchy. My stomach was already in knots, but then he leaned in and kissed her. Not a friendly kiss, a full-on romantic kiss. I felt like the room was spinning. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I didn't know what to do, so I pulled out my phone and started recording. I wasn't even thinking clearly, but I knew my mom would never believe me if I just told her. My stepdad has always been the perfect husband in her eyes, and she trusts him completely. After they finished their meal, they left together. I didn't follow them. I couldn't handle seeing anymore. I just sat there for the rest of the night trying not to cry and barely touched my food. When I got home, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying what I saw in my head and trying to figure out what to do. A little background, my mom and stepdad have been married for 15 years. He's been in my life since I was a teenager, and has always been a father figure to me and my younger brother, 27 male. But over the years, I've heard rumors about him cheating. My mom always brushed them off, saying people just like to gossip because they were jealous of their relationship. I debated all night about whether to tell her. Part of me wanted to pretend I didn't see anything, but I knew I couldn't live with myself if I kept quiet. So, I showed her the video. She didn't cry right away. She just stared at the screen, like she was trying to process what she was seeing. Then she thanked me for telling her, and we just sat in silence for what felt like forever. The next day, she confronted my stepdad. He tried to deny it at first, saying I must have misunderstood or taken things out of context. But when she mentioned the video, he couldn't come up with any more excuses. He packed a bag and left the house. Now my mom is devastated. She hasn't eaten much, barely sleeps, and I feel awful for being the one to shatter her world like this. To make things worse, my brother is furious with me. He says I should have minded my own business and let them work things out on their own. He thinks I made everything worse by showing her the video instead of confronting my stepdad first. Even some of my friends think I overstepped by recording him and exposing him like that. I thought I was doing the right thing by being honest with my mom, but now I'm second-guessing everything. Was I wrong to get involved? Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. I'm sorry, little bro. Should you have let this man just keep on cheating on your mom? Heck no. She needed to know what kind of a-hole she was married to. She absolutely needed to know, even if my brother says otherwise. I don't know. Not the a-hole. He was cheating. He got caught. The best thing you can do right now is support your mom in this difficult time for her. You didn't ruin the relationship. Your stepdad did. Your brother is an a-hole for telling you that you should have kept quiet. I will always support my mom. She is anyways better off without him. He is an a-hole.